Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I will teach about how to create a new domain in your SDTM. Okay, so when do we need to create a new domain? When your topic is not relating to any of the domain which is present in the SDTM. Fine. So there are certain things which you have to follow according to the SDTM guidelines to create a new domain. That is what I am going to talk about in this video. Okay. So the number one thing over here is first you have to look for an relevant domain model to serve as a prototype. Means you need a prototype. Prototype where it will be the new domain which you want to create should be somewhere similar to one of the domain which is already present in the STTM. Let's basically the topic of the new domain should be related to any of the domain. Let's say if there is no existing model seems appropriate, then you have to choose it from the general observation class in which you will have intervention, event or finding. So what you have to do is just see, is your topic more related to intervention or your event or your finding? Let's say it is more related to finding for an example. Okay, now how do we create a new domain? So now my topic of the new domain is little bit related to your finding. It is some sort of a finding, just that we are not able to put it in a any domain under your findings. That is the only issue, right? So we have to create a new domain, but the topic is somewhere related to the findings. Now how we will create it? So the number one point is to include the identifier variable. So first we will take the identifier variables such as your study ID, your domain, usage ID, sequence and all. And also you can take any permissible identifier variables from the STTM. So what are permissible identifier variable example? Let's say, SPID, that is sponsor defined ID, or INVID, investigator ID. All these things also you can take. So the first point is to take your identifier variable. Second, you need to select the topic variable from the identified general observation class. Means, for example, we took it right that it is related to finding. So that means if it is related to finding, what is the topic variable of finding? Test CD. So here also you will follow the same. So your topic variable will end with your test CD. That is why we have to search for a prototype first. Okay. So my prototype is finding. So the topic variable will be test CD. Now identifier variable done, your topic variable done. Next, you have to see for your qualifier variable. Okay. In qualifier variable, when you select, just remember that the variables belonging to other general observation class cannot be added. Okay. So let's say there are 10 qualifier variables in findings, which you will find in SDTM guideline. So you can use only those 10 qualifier variable. You cannot use any variable belonging to these two in terms of qualifier variable. So that is your third part. Identifier variable done, topic variable done, qualifier variable done. Next we have to select your timing variable. Okay, so the timing variables which tells you about the date and time of the anything, right? So that you have to select and include. After that, once you're done with all the four variables, identifier, topic, qualifier and timing, you will determine the domain code, right? The domain code, you must be aware that it will be 2 character long and it will be in your uppercase, right? Now just make sure one thing, that the domain code what you have selected, okay, should not match any of the domain in your CDESK SDTM domain abbreviation code list. Example, let's say DM, right? Demographic. If your new domain is, if you name it as DM, it is not gonna work, right? So it should not match any of the domain in your SDTM. That is the main thing about the domain code, okay? Now let's move on to the next part. Once you have decided your 2 character domain code, now you will apply to your all the variables in the domain. So what you have to do is replace all variable prefix with the domain code. Let's say your domain code is your PA. Okay, PA. So PA will come before all the variables like that. That is the next step. After that, what you have to do is you have to set the order of variable with the order defined in the SDTM for general observation class. So then what you do, open your SDTM guideline, see the order of variable for your general observation class, and in the same way, in the same order, you have to write your variables. So the common, the common order of variable is what we taught you here, that is first identifier, then your topic variable, then your qualifier variable, and finally your timing variable. Okay, so that order has to be followed. Once that is done, the next point is you have to give label for the variable. Now you need to explain, right, your variable is giving what type of information. So that can be maximum your 40 character long, plus you have to use your title case for your label. Title case means what? It means the word which you are using should start with a capital letter except your articles and conjunction, right? So that you have to do for your labels of the variable. Once that is done, what you have to do is just ensure that the variables which you are using, right, are compared their use in the custom domain to their use in standard domain. So what does that mean? See, now you have finding will be your standard domain. Okay, now in that the variables which you are using, you have to compare their use with the variable you are using in your new domain, right? So basically you have to compare your variable, the new variables, their action or the type of information they are conveying should be similar to the variables present in the standard domain. Means, for example, let's say SEQ. Okay, the SEQ tells the sequence of the record, right? So in standard domain, SEQ tells about the sequence of record. So even in your custom domain, the variable SEQ, PASEQ example, PASEQ should tell about the same thing, that is the sequence of the record. So that is how you have to compare. Once that is done, you will describe the dataset within the define XML document. So final stage is your XML document. And if there is any non-standard variable, that will definitely go to your supplemental qualifier dataset. Okay. So this is the whole basic procedure of how to create a new domain. So what I did is I have summarized over here in a flow chart. You can take a screenshot of it to remember it in a simple way. So the number one thing is select your identifier variable, correct? Then you select your topic variable, then you select your qualifier variable, then you select your timing variable, then you select your domain code, which will be your 2 character long. Then apply this domain code on all variable as your prefix. See, dash dash test cd. So I've given one example. So PA test cd, like that. So you have applied the domain code. Once that is done, set the order of variables defined in SDTM. So this is your order of variable and it should be in the same way. Then we give the label for your variable, which is in title case, maximum 40 character long. Then what you have to do, compare your custom domain variable use with your standard domain. I have explained it to you, right? Once you're done with this, you will describe your data set within your XML document, that is the final document. And if there is any non-standard variable, please add it to your supplemental qualified data set. I hope my video is clear to you. If there is any doubt, please tell me in the comment section. Please subscribe to my channel. Daily I will try to upload 1 or 2 videos. Thank you everyone.